Hello and welcome to Reviews. Avengers number 5 just came out today. I picked it up from the comic shop and luckily I got there a little late, but the orders came late, so it all worked out. Um, but you know what's interesting? Now that I'm looking at this under the bright light of my potato phone flash, I didn't realize that this was Ghost Rider's car that Cap is in. I'm slightly colorblind, so I have trouble with reds, and it kind of comes off as blobbish to me. And now that I'm looking at it under the bright light, I can see what it is. The cover, this looks bad. Cap, he looks too big. How did he even get through this little window here? His shoulder, and the other one is in here, and this just doesn't look very comfortable. And I can't unsee it now while I'm looking at this. So yeah, as I mentioned last week when I was looking at issue 4, in fact, issue 4 is the first one I've reviewed because I'm not really into the Celestials. Not saying that they can't be good, but they really need a good arc, a good space arc, and I don't really think Avengers is the right book for that. I'm thinking more something more spacefaring, like even a Silver Surfer book. Maybe even Fantastic Four. But I don't know why Avengers, and it could just be me. But yeah, like I said, I was only half paying attention to the book when I was reading the other issues. And thankfully, and I guess a little embarrassing, they really spell it out simply. Um, Basically, this first celestial that came down, this first host, he was dying. He picked up an infection, some space STD, while he was out in the far reaches. And so he came to Earth. As they said, he fell and fell through space. And it was vomiting all this crap out. And he ended up dying on Earth 4 million years ago. And what happened was the infection that killed him permeated throughout the planet. So what we learn is that basically the entire planet is infected. That those horde bugs are part of this infection. Um, it's actually where humans get all their superpowers. Your mutants, the ability to become a mutate, like how DC has the metagene that can be activated. Basically the things that allow someone like Peter Parker to be bitten by a radioactive spider and get powers. All comes back to the Celestial dying here. Um, Not the first time a story has been said that the Celestials are the cause of everything, all of Earth's superhumans. It also goes on to hint that that's why Earth humans are so special, why they're so diverse. Whereas you go out to the other planets in the universe, like the Kree, they all pretty much look alike. There's really no variation, but humans are much, much different. So Loki is explaining all this to Cap, and thus we have several pages of exposition. And Loki's plan is to basically help the Earth get destroyed, help the infection get cleansed. He explains that 1,000,000 years after that, this celestial came down to Earth. So I should be using scans. Named Zagreb. Where's it say up here? Basically, his name's Zagreb. There it is. Zagreb the Esprit. Who was that first Celestial's basically lover, or what equates out to that. And Odin's Avengers from, the BC Avengers ended up fighting um, the Celestial. And then more Celestials came. So they came, and this is where we saw that little flashback at the end of the last issue where it looked like all hope was lost. And then they all turned and left. Um, Basically, the other Celestials from the first host came down to Earth, saw that, what's the name? I already forgot it. Zagreb. It's such a lazy name. Trying to go for Kirby and Stanley coolness, and you come up with Zagreb. Anyway, how they decided to just leave them on Earth to rot. And so what has actually been happening the past few issues is that the hosts were afraid that the horde disease, as they called it, would be contained to Earth. And it did not happen. As they said, all the hosts are now dead except the final one. And it's basically like it's an infection. And they don't call it this, but to me it almost comes off like a zombie plague. Now they compare it more to rabies. That the Celestials are now mad with rabies, but to me it seems kind of like almost like undead zombies that they're come back to destroy the initial infection. So Captain America ends up getting rescued by Ghost Rider, who gets some really good moments in this book. And they cut over to Doctor Strange and Iron Man, and Iron Man is pulling down his plan that he made after talking to the Eternals, and now the gang is starting to get together. Now we have Cap. He's caught up with Robbie. They're being chased by the Celestials, and they catch up with Iron Man and then Black Panther and Captain Marvel teleport down, zoom down, and yeah, they're going to try to do their plan to get into the Celestial, and such a weird pose. Let me kind of turn this so the light is. It's like, I don't know. And of course, here's where I wanted to get up to is then She-Hulk and Thor catch up. And they've got the Frost Giant's blood or whatever. And She-Hulk, where have you two been? Smashing and kissing. Oh. So they've got this Ymir's tears, or Ymir's blood. And they're saying what they can do with it. And who's going to take it. And She-Hulk says, Hulk change. Hulk still Jennifer Walters. And Hulk here for reasons. Good gamma reasons. They never explained why she was like completely being spoken to yet in that first issue. So they decide that they're going to eat this Frost Giant's blood drop or whatever it is, and they'll explain exactly what that does. I'm going to skip ahead a couple pages here. You're just missing out Cap giving a speech to Ghost Rider. And here Ghost Rider does something pretty cool, because Cap notices that Ghost Rider has turned a tractor into one of the Ghost Rider, kind of like how he does with the car, and so he tells him the power was within him all along, and try not to get the pages in here. And he does something really cool, is he actually climbs up into the Celestial and basically makes it a Ghost Rider car Celestial, takes control of it. So that's actually pretty cool. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about him. Is his name like... Oh, listen, motorcycle going by. Is his name like Robbie Rees, maybe? Or am I thinking Jamie? Maybe I'm mixing him up with the new Blue Beetle, but I want to say his name's Robbie. And so if I'm wrong, oops, sorry. And so they're the group's all together, and Captain Marvel wants to now be a giant like Robbie, and Iron Man's plan comes down from Mars. He has a giant celestial-size armor. Ghost Rider is commandeering a celestial corpse. And I'm sorry about the motorcycle here. And Ymir's blood has turned Thor and She-Hulk into giants. And, Iron Man even makes a joke about, come on now, giant-size Avengers. Let's see what it's like for them to pick on someone their own size. Okay, I can understand why they have Ghost Rider in the book. I can understand why they have Tony, Thor. I still don't understand the whole She-Hulk thing. She had a voice come into her mind earlier. They still haven't quite explained that. And that whole good gamma reasons, wherever that was at. This whole panel, this whole panel is weird. This energy coming off of her makes her look almost like when they do someone's drunk and they put the little bubbles coming off. And these hands, look at this. They don't know what they're doing. Again, I bring this up because, She-Hulk's my favorite character, if you have not figured that out already. And they pointed out in a previous issue, why Jen has relapsed into this almost thing from, this state from Mariko Tamaki's run. And, yeah, she's now a giant-sized Hulk. Because gamma reasons. Good gamma reasons. Luckily, her outfit changed too with Amir's blood. I'll give Thor a pass on that. Those god clothes. This, with the glowing eyes. Yeah, I don't know who this character is anymore. This is not the Jen that ended up at the end of the last She-Hulk series, so. It looks like we're getting close to the final confrontation, and I still don't really care too much about this book because they came up with a reason that that they were going to be able to kill all the horde bugs on the planet with one swoop. That's what Panther and them were working on, and that's why they came down. It just seems, I don't know, this should be so cool. And I'm thinking like Grant Morrison when he rebooted JLA, and they did these epic stories with the Justice League, and you could be doing stuff like that with this. You have all the makings, and I don't know. I don't really know too much about Jason Aaron's writing work. I don't really know what else I've read of his, and this is just not interesting to me. The concept is neat, but I still don't know why Loki wants to destroy the Earth. I mean, I guess when you're a god, he can go elsewhere. Is he trying to spite Odin and Thor? I don't know. But he's taken all the time to keep Captain America chained up and to explain his plan. But this is Loki, and with a good writer, Loki will be up to something else. This is not his real plan. He has a master plan, and this is just a facet of it. That, why he's keeping Cap alive. I don't know. I don't care. There's really not much else I can say. This is not a bad issue. It's an interesting premise, rabid celestials, but I don't care. Just don't care. So, meh. We'll see what happens when the series finishes up. I still haven't read that Squirrel Girl yet from last week that I picked up. I just got back into town, so I got a little bit of catching up to do. So, yeah, another bland Marvel book. At least it's not bad. At least it's not like all the other stuff, so. Alright. Well, thanks for watching.